In that first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, the people whom Peter is addressing had, as is implied, known of, if not perhaps had personally witnessed, some of the signs and wonders by which God was commending Jesus to the people, revealing him to be their Messiah. But even with the miracles Jesus performed, obviously, many of them had not come to recognize his true identity, nor come to place their faith in him. Amazingly, in the gospel account, 2 of Jesus' own disciples on that road to Emmaus were unable to recognize him for whatever reason, be it that they didn't expect to ever see him alive again, or that they were so distressed, confused, anxious, that they simply couldn't really see that it was truly Jesus. This account is instructive to us in our own day, as clearly there are many who wish to have an experience of Jesus, an encounter with him, but it shouldn't surprise us that such an encounter eludes many. We see people search this out in all kinds of pious practices and programs, in retreat experiences and prayer meetings in our own church. And in the realm of Christian belief beyond our Catholic circles, we can observe people going from Bible study to Bible study, preacher to preacher, worship style to worship style, and actually from denomination to denomination, in search of an experience of the Lord. Yet obviously, their search continues. And so we see denomination after denomination increase in numbers in locations, especially as we travel through the South. Perhaps people are looking for the extraordinary, for their own experience of signs and wonders, for a Damascus Road kind of experience, as would St. Paul. But those extraordinary experiences seldom, if ever, are provided to anyone. The problem is that we as human beings are naturally prone to complicate things a bit, to make them harder than they really need to be. And that is certainly very true of our contemporary search for an encounter with, an experience of, the risen Lord. As we hear the account of the disciples on the road to Emmaus, we are told where the risen Lord is to be found, in the same manner in which those 2 privileged disciples came to recognize him. That is, in the breaking of the bread, which, as we hear those action words in that account, take, bless, break, share, we know that at the time this gospel was recorded, those were the words of the celebration of the Eucharist in the early Christian church. Maybe it truly isn't enough of a smoking and quaking mountain sort of theophany to be believed. Maybe it's so simple as to be easily dismissed, as it seems to be by many Christians of other denominations, and sadly rejected and walked away from by far too many baptized Catholics too. Clearly, many fail to take the Lord at his word. This is my body. This is my blood. And so reject the truth of his real presence, even under ordinary elements of bread and wine. And so they keep looking beyond the sacrament of the altar for something more. Among them are those who, when they don't find that something more, stop searching and stop expecting altogether. Let us never find ourselves among them, and let us never stop praying for those whom we may personally know who have walked away. The Lord wants it to be simple. He wants it to be easy for us to find him and encounter him and to have an experience of communion with him. Why? So he can continue to work in and through us, bringing his kingdom to this world until the day of his final appearance. So let us accept that the Eucharist is the Lord's way and the Lord's will, simpler and more ordinary than we might prefer, but in the end wiser and perhaps more effective than any other means that could be imagined or created by us as human beings. So on this first day of the week, each week, if not more frequently, let us obey not his suggestion, but his command, do this in memory of me, seeking and finding him in the breaking of bread, trusting his word that he is fully present here and present as the totality, and as such continuing his saving, our food, our nourishment, would risk our place at an eternal banquet that he promises.